What's going on, guys? My name is Tim Ruswick, and today we're talking about how I used to think that other people always had the answers. Ever since I was a little kid, I used to think that, there were these magical people out there that could invent all of these things that I saw on a daily basis. Dude that invented chairs, the dude that invented blenders, cups, cell phones, smartphone. I used to think all these people that had all these brilliant inventions and ideas and concepts were somehow superhuman. And I think it was a little bit of self-esteem issues, a little bit of maybe not growing up in the most empowering household. But it kind of had this effect on me where I believed there was me and then them. The smart dudes, the dudes that built all the cool stuff, the dudes that invented all the cool things. And for a long time, I really believed that. I thought that, it was something that just, you had to know people, or you had to go to the right school, or you just somehow knew that you were meant to build these things or do these things. And as I've kind of grown a little bit older, and as I've kind of had a little more experience in things, and I've talked to people, and especially since I started this channel and really had the chance to communicate with not only my awesome community here, but in addition to that, I've communicated with a lot of people that I admire. I've given talks and stuff with people that a million years I didn't think I'd be able to communicate with, and then do interviews with people I admire as well. So having those combinations it's made me realize that all of these people are just like me. They're just like you. They're no different. There's no magical formula. They doubt themselves too. They think that it's us versus them. They think that they're the odd man out, and that a bunch of other people are the ones that that do all the cool stuff, right? And have you ever done research into like imposter syndrome? This comes up a lot on the channel because I feel like it's important, and especially relevant in my life because, starting a game development channel when I haven't really made any successful indie games was kind of like, who am I to like share all this stuff, right? Like, who am I to be the dude to share that stuff? Because like, I'm just a dude, and like imposter syndrome really kind of kicked in, and like, holy shit, these guys are going to find out that I'm not some major guru. And so my defense to imposter syndrome was just kind of like, be completely honest and just be like, hey, never did this shit before. This is what I did. This is the mistakes I made. This is how all this happened. But as I started doing that and talking to people, I'm realizing more and more that like all of these people are made by people just like us, or all these things are made by people just like us. All these games are made by game developers just like us that had doubts and fears and hopes and dreams. And when we look at a game, and like I used to do this all the time. I used to look at a game and like, wow, that is so brilliantly designed. Whoever designed that is a genius, like whatever it was, right? And I'm really realizing now that like good developers usually don't come up with that stuff on the spot. They're not like, I'm going to dictate the whole game design as I do it and just make this magical thing. It's more like an iteration process. They work with people, they have testers, they iterate on things, they make things better, And when you see the final product, you compare the final product to what you do, what you're developing in the beginning stages, and like, that's not what you should be doing, because you have no idea how much iteration, how much work went into that final product. And that may seem like a genius design solution, but that might have been the 15th thing they tried, So to think that these people are some kind of genius designers and that you're just a regular designer and you can't come up with stuff like that, you can. You just got to put in the work that they do. And, this has been especially important in my life because I feel like there's so many times where it stopped me from doing something great because I just thought that I wasn't the person that was supposed to do that thing. Like there was somebody smarter and better than me that was supposed to go out there and do that. And then when I did do the thing, imposter syndrome kicked in and kind of reminded me like, hey, What if they find out that you're not the guy? What if they find out you're just a regular dude and that you're kind of being like an imposter in this whole game dev world? And, again, that was a struggle with me. But when I kind of found out that other people are going through the same shit that I was, I wanted to fight that feeling, because I felt that way my entire life, and I wanted to go against the grain to kind of prove to myself that I could be this person. And, that's where the live streams come in. That's where Philophobia comes in. That's where the Finish Friday stuff comes in. That's where all the different game jam stuff comes in. And I've systematically over the last year tried to really prove to myself that, I can do these things. And after having built 11 games in 2017, that was a big experience for me. Someone that took 10 years to actually get over themselves enough to make a game, to build 11 in 1 year, that was an accomplishment. And I feel like a lot of people never get to that point because they're afraid to even try, because they don't feel like they belong in that space. So if you're an accountant, if you're like if you're an IT guy, if you're like working in computers or something and you want to get into game design, but you don't think you're a game developer, neither did I, man. Neither did a lot of us on this channel. Most of us still don't, right? So don't let it stop you. Don't let this belief of not being that person stop you from being that person, because we're all kind of in the same boat. There's no definitive black and white. There's no criteria for being a game designer or not being a game designer. You can finish a game just like everyone else. And guess what? Once you got a finished game, you're a game developer. Bam. Nobody can argue that, because you built a game. Even if it's for a game jam, even if it's a Pong clone, even if it's something stupid that took you 8 hours, even if it doesn't make sense, you built it. And you become a game designer just like everyone else. Game developer, whatever. Designer, developer, same shit. And I wanted to share that today because I know it's definitely kept me back in life. Believing that other people are more important. Matter of fact, there was I think it was a commencement speech by Steve Jobs. I would have to find the link. But he had a quote in there where he said something like, everything around you was made by people no smarter than you are. And that, when I saw that, when I heard that really stuck with me, and it kind of propelled my belief system into the state where it is now, because that's true, man. The dude that invented chairs, the dude that invented like headphones, all of those are just regular people, right? They're just regular people, and they had doubts about themselves too. And they didn't think they were inventors, and they didn't think they were, whatever. So if you don't think you're a game developer, prove it to yourself that you are. Do something where definitively nobody can tell you otherwise. Do something where you have the proof to yourself that you can always look back on. That's what I did. And it's worked out pretty well for me so far. And as we continue on this journey into 2018, for real, get shit done. Become that person. Don't let the fact that you think other people are smarter than you or they know more than you stop you from being that thing, being that person, being the thing that you want to be. Because it's easier than you think it is, and you just gotta take the first step. You just gotta have that belief and not let the negative belief stop you from actually getting places. And I know I did for way too long. I just thought I wasn't a game designer. I had so many beliefs that I just felt like people had other shit handled. Making money in as a solo indie developer was another one of those. And I'm planning on crushing that soon with Philophobia. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, please leave me a like and a comment down below. You have that belief? You ever believe that? You ever believe that, other people just more qualified than you are? You ever believe that people are going to find you out, that you weren't a real person? You weren't a real game developer? Leave that in the comments below, because I'd love to hear from you guys. But once again, I'm Tim Rustwick, and I will see you again tomorrow.